starting the live stream, and I'm trying to wrestle my CPU under control. It does seem to be a function partly of the amount of video sharing. I don't know if this is one of the few things about Jitsi that I'm less keen about is I can't turn other people's videos on and off as I could do in. At least I don't think I can. My computer seems to be struggling with video, Lara. I wonder, do you want to turn yours off?
I'm trying to. Just doesn't want to go.
Oh, okay. You know where the button is. You've gone to black and white now, which is interesting. And my thing has calmed down. And here we are. It's the marketing meeting. Good show. Right. So we've got Lara and Federico and Michael and Sam. Matt is indisposed and not available. And oh gosh, Blandine mentioned that she wouldn't be available. So we'll see if anybody else joins us. Let's get the screen share on. Okay, right. So I was going to just put in some other things from me, which include that questions of value. Okay. So yeah, Michael, did you have anything for the marketing meeting?
Predictions.
The new predictions. Right. Great. Federico?
Yeah, sorry. Perhaps we could go over the newsletter numbers just real quickly.
Sure.
And what else? Oh, the HubSpot. I have a question about HubSpot. How we should classify the contacts.
Cool. Great. Lara?
Just experiments, AdWords.
Right. Great. So I can now scroll down, I think, to find, that's the notes from the previous meeting. Marufa says she's on her way. So previous action items, you can see my CPU there in the background. I guess I'm just going to have to buy a new computer this week. I just can't bear the slowness when I just want to grab that and copy it up to our new one. Okay, let's put that at the top. And is that Marufa? Hey, Marufa.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Oh, good to have you with us. We only just started. We were just putting our list of things together. Did you have anything that you wanted to put on the agenda?
Maybe the focus group?
Yeah.
Interviews, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Sure. Okay. So everybody should be able to edit this document, not just me. My poor old computer. Can I get the activity monitor up as well? Won't even let me. So yeah, I've got another. It's this kernel task. Because we haven't even got any video processing, and it's just being. You guys can all hear me fine?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just everything I do on the computer is going to be painfully slow. Oh well. But so just to work through some of our previous items. So I haven't managed to update the existing bot message or empower others to make changes. I have started looking at Azure and how to shift the item onto there and maybe put it in Doku so we can manage it. Lara,
can I stop you real quick? Did you update the message?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, neither of these yet done. Go on, Michael.
Searching on the internet, Apple has a support page about your kernel task. And it says that if it's using a large percentage of your max CPUs, you may be overheating your CPU.
Yeah.
Because it may be like regulating fan speed and stuff.
Yeah. I think that's very possibly related. Frustratingly, the computer, like my son printing things out, I would usually have it sleeping over the weekend, so it wasn't overheating. It was hot when I got to it this morning, and I think that's because my son put his computer down on top of it to print stuff out for his homework.
I guess you don't have air conditioning.
No. I can open some windows.
Why don't Europeans have air conditioning?
I think some Europeans have air conditioning. I think in Britain we don't have air conditioning because it usually doesn't get that hot. We're
really?
having, really, really. It usually rains. We have light drizzle for most.
They're
of the
very
summer.
lucky. They're very lucky if you have any sun.
This year has been surprisingly hotter. Yes. Lara, how's the Facebook image going?
So I haven't even looked at it. I'll get to it this week. My life has calmed down a bit now, so...
Oh, great to hear that. Wonderful.
Yes.
Come on.
Yay. Yes, I like it a lot. So I'll get it done before Thursday.
Wonderful. And so, Federico, I guess you have a question about that. We'll come to that in the sequence of things. So we did actually make progress on this one of agreeing and distributing the survey. We got that together. We all had input on it, and Marufa, you got that out. You got it out to people by Slack, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I used the list that you gave me, the spreadsheet, and I sent a message out to everyone. Yeah,
that was great work, and we've had at least 10 responses already with some very interesting things, which maybe we should look at. I think they're very important. Matt's not here. Marufa, no, and you were still blocked on this Agile Ventures email thing.
I didn't have a chance, sorry, to do the print screen. I'll do that and Slack it to you guys. I haven't had a chance, sorry.
I mean, I guess that this is becoming such a serious block that we may have to there's a way to create you an active email address rather than just a forwarding thing. Ultimately,
that might be better.
It would be nice.
It's easier to communicate one-to-one with people when I'm on Slack or email, and so maybe that might be the best.
But it costs money. So, and particularly various other people. What I would really love is for you to get that print screen done, and even if we then can't solve it, at least we've got the problem documented, and we can work something out about it. So please do that, and
I'll do that first.
I was just going to ask, what do you mean by print screen the block?
Well, so what it is that as you have as well.
Blocking? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Basically that Matt had worked with. Matt's got it working for him, in his Gmail, so that he can send and receive from his Agile Ventures email. It doesn't seem to be working for Marufa. She's followed all the same instructions. There seems to be some kind of block it's not working or something, and I guess we're trying to get the screenshot of that.
I see. By the way,
not working. Go on.
By the way, I just recently did that on Saturday.
Yes,
I got it configured, and I emailed you about it, by the way. But so
you did, and you also had a little bit of a block, did you?
Yeah, basically because it's forwarding to my Outlook address.
Okay, you need a change, which I can easily make. Right.
Yeah, to my Gmail, just so I could so it can retain all the history when you hit reply, so I don't have to get it from one email address and reply in another one. But it's fresh. Yes, if you could do that, thank you, Sam. It's fresh in my mind. However, if Marufa wants to pair on it,
and I think the difficulty for Marufa is that she's kind of at work and she's kind of in on her phone. So she can't actually do the setup unless she's at home with her computer, kind of thing. So there's only certain times of the day when she's available. And I think, but Marufa is Matt. Was Matt available to actually in the previous situation?
Yeah,
he paired with you on it. You did it together and got stuck together, right?
Yeah, it was on I brought my laptop into work.
Right.
So what I'll do is do the screenshots. I'm sure there's something we're missing.
Yes.
And then you guys can have a look at it, and then I'll bring my laptop to work and hopefully, or do a session with Federico quickly one day or something.
Yeah, anytime you're available, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So, and we'll we'll see. Like, basically, this is the lot. If we can't get it fixed, we'll back out and use a different approach. Go on.
It's okay if it doesn't work on the Gmail. I'll try it with my Yahoo. I'll try and get it to work. It'll be fine. There'll be other ways.
Sure. No. Well, no. I think if we, if we've got other people working on Gmail, and there's no reason it shouldn't work, we'll try this week, and maybe Federica can help. But if that doesn't work, we'll try a different approach. Okay. So other action items, more data on why people are becoming after inactive. That's like a general thing that we want. It's not even clear how we get that information, although perhaps we'll get some from the survey. I haven't done this listings thing. I guess I'm sort of prioritizing other things, like because of just sort of like what are obvious fixes. Like one of the main things I was working on today was like we refer to a privacy policy in our login page or sign up page, but we don't have a privacy policy. So I'm focusing on addressing obviously broken stuff before putting new things in. Then there's, can we greet people joining new projects? I think I've seen lots of people doing this, greeting people. That's great. We will continue to look into automating it. Federico, steps for putting up the podcast. I guess, you've been completely on the newsletter, so I assume no progress there.
No, but I sort of made a resolution for myself to actually work on it, commit to working on it at least 10 minutes a day. Hopefully that'll sprout into, 30 minutes or an hour. But just at least commit to doing 10 minutes a day. And then that way it won't seem so daunting that I'm going to spend, the next, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours.
Sure.
On it.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully if we can then analyze what is taking up the time and work out how we can, even delegate parts of that, that would be very useful. Okay. So then I did update the dollar values. This is for the survey to all members. I think probably before we send that out, we want to kind of like analyze the stuff we've done for the premium members. Then, Maruf is working on the focus group, and we're going to report on that. This is this thing for Michael is interested in any kind of community activity events that we can record that might impact AV sign-up. So I guess we should always be thinking about that. We haven't started on animated GIFs. I haven't done the fast forward profile. I did get you the videos for the interviews, didn't I, Marufa? Yes. Yeah. And so I also got the URLs from Lara, and I also got you that list there. And you did that. Okay, so that looks like, I'll edit that properly when my computer's not overheating. So that's all of those. So let's start. So Marufa, do you want to tell us? Did you? So you were both distributing the survey and asking people if they were interested in a focus group or interviews. Did you get any response from people to that?
Yes. So I've sent out the message, and a couple of people have said they're interested, but not enough people have, because I gave it on the Friday, so understandably, not enough. I haven't had enough response, but I'm gonna tonight send them another template, an email. Slack, whatever you call it, saying for them if they're interested in the interview, and I'm thinking of telling them that it's going to be only 15 to 20 minutes long. I don't think it will be one-to-one interviews, and I think if it's 15 to 20 minutes, it won't be as daunting. Like it's not 1 hour, so it's and I've come up with a list of questions which I put on the marketing list, but I will watch your that video. I haven't watched it yet, and I will see if there's any more questions. But questions I can ask them is stuff like if they're working in a group, who's contributing, or how do you think we can get people to contribute in the project more, or just random questions. But I've only literally had 2 people saying they're interested, but I asked them, can you tell me a time and date when you're available? And no one's replying back to that. They just gave thumbs up. So I'm thinking I should tell them these are the dates. Can you just tell me? Maybe that way I'll get a bit more engagement. Yeah. So I'm going to send another message out today.
Okay. Oh, great. We look forward to seeing a copy of that, for review before you send it. But yes, fantastic.
Yeah.
So we could quickly look at some of the things in the survey. I guess we may also want to wait and get more, or even just do that later on in today's meeting? Because I'm tempted that I think there's a big discussion there that relates to some of my things, which maybe we'll leave till the end.
Also, with those questions, they were like the starter questions, and I'm sure when conversation goes on, more questions will come up or ideas. So
yeah, no, great. Well, great work getting that out, and I think that's really valuable that it's coming from you rather than from me. Fantastic. I was just going to mention, pull it into, we had it in the agenda here, is that Mikhail, after he got some great advice in the Professional Develop channel, made the suggestion of us having like a press kit page where we put all of our icons. Like we've got our GitHub repo, but that would be a great thing to have, is like a page where people could get our icons and things. I guess I might, like, I think might be something that I get done, because I think I can do it relatively easily, but I can, what is it? Annoyingly, creating new pages requires access to the back-end console, but once it's done, anyway, I might create the stub for that at least, and then other people can help. So let's create the press kit page. Let's come on to this later. So Michael, do you just want to talk about what you've been doing with your new predictions?
Yeah, so I've been trying to fit a better model to the data. And
so far, the data is all activity in Slack, right?
Yeah, it's just, right now, it's literally just aggregate public posts in Slack for the preceding 3 weeks. So, there seems to be some signal there. It's like better than random guessing.
Yeah.
But, so I've basically gotten through a series of like messing with more sophisticated models. I've gotten like a higher accuracy rate.
Right.
I've boosted it maybe like 20% or something like that. Through like messing around with like out of the box models. And so now we're able to get predictions. And I've also explained how to train and predict, like you're sharing right now. Cool. Right now, I'm worried though about reproducibility.
Right.
But that's basically the explanation in there, is how to run the code, and then you'll need the data that's mentioned in there, which isn't actually public. It's not like GitHub for privacy issues. So.
Yes, and so for those people not a bit unsure about what's going on there, is Michael's working with data from Slack to see if it can sort of predict who are the people who might be likely to sign up for premium.
I do.
Go on.
I do notice that early on in this whole process, when we were fitting a different model, I did end up throwing out everybody that like hadn't posted at all in the previous 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because they were kind of like really doing weird things to our model. And but that's when we were using logistic regression. Like the trade-off curve was like really bizarre. But I do notice that I think it's a function, like maybe of the different ways that people have been like pulled in. Like I think looking at the data, like the data that we have, which isn't like everything, because I haven't even included like the PayPal data.
Right.
And there's also some people that are using different emails on Slack versus Stripe, like Federico, I think, like a bunch of other people too. So that should be like, there's like a bunch of different issues that need to be fixed, but it seems like half the people that signed up during that year like had no activity on Slack. Like by dropping like in the preceding 3 weeks before they signed up.
Right.
So but I think that's partially something to do with like you reached out to them or something and like activated them like out of just like they weren't like active before necessarily.
Right.
So I'm not sure like how we're gonna deal with that in terms of predicting those kind of things.
Indeed, complicated stuff. The interesting thing I think we can see here is like some predictions that it was making of Lokesh, Lara, this is Susanna, Paolo, Rose, and so we've got. I mean, it's an interesting question what to do with those predictions about people who are becoming more active and so on. So with that maybe that discussion we can feed into the perhaps bigger discussion that we have at the end of today's session. I think it's fantastic work that you're doing here, Michael. As you say, like there's reproducibility. I think the more that you can move towards a thing where the description here can get more and more specific. So I mean, it's sort of hold on a second, Marufa. But so from a sort of scientific point of view, to allow people to be able to reproduce exactly what you do is important. I mean, also this question of like the public accessibility of the data is anybody can come into our Slack and view it. So I mean, that's a whole other separate discussion about how much or how little of it we should be making available, whether we may even make the data sets available. Sorry, Marufa, what did you want to say?
Oh, I was just going to say we need to also take into consideration that some people just want to be on channel just to observe. Maybe that should be taken to. It might not. I know we want active users, but sometimes people are just watching. Like I'm on some channels and I'm just listening to conversation just to get inspiration. So that should be taken into consideration that they might not be active in so many channels, but they could be drawing on ideas for one project or something. Right.
No, I think that's very true. That's very true. I mean, it's I'm sure that's true. The difficulty from the point of view of using that as if there's no activity on their part, we can't feed that into the predictive model. So there's no measurable activity. Like if we could sort of like have their brains wired up and work with like seeing the impact of their. I guess is there also data, Michael, about when people are online? I guess we can't get data about whether people have actually read messages like one gets in WhatsApp and stuff.
I don't think you get that data, but
no,
it might be like sign-in data,
right?
Which is barely that meaningful.
No, yeah, well, it's a very interesting point.
We can,
and if we knew that would be helpful. Sorry, go on, Michael.
I was also thinking we can get like certain demographic data, like we can make a guess as to what country they are based on, like if we can link them.
Right.
Everybody's invited into the Slack based on their email on the website. And then if they've ever signed into the website, we've tried to geolocate them.
Right.
So we could use like country.
Yeah. That's
because I suspect that has a large impact on it.
Yeah. So there's lots more. So I think if anybody has any thoughts and suggestions for Michael on this, there's the data mining channel. He's posting predictions there, talking about the model. Ideas like you had there, Marufa. Share with Michael, and let's keep on moving this forward.
Sorry, can I just add one more thing? When people join Slack, is it possible for them to fill up a form or something like what country you're from, female, male, age? Is that a possibility?
Yeah,
maybe that could narrow.
I think Slack has some of that information. Like it has their time zone. We certainly could be. I mean, we're free to ask them to do things. Whether they will do them or not is another matter. But
I mean, we can ask them to do things, but you're not going to get. Probably most people aren't going to do them, and then.
But so yeah, and we need to, we've got we have to look carefully at the load that we put on people. But I think if we've got a strong reason to want to collect particular kinds of data, then that's a possibility.
I mean, it's going to become like trying to fill in the blanks for everybody else, which there are imputation and stuff, but
yeah,
it's all kind of sorcery.
So, indeed. So more sorcery, more fun. Shall we move on to Federico? Did you want to give us an update on the newsletter, which you got out? Very well done doing that. It looked very good on my phone and on my inbox.
Yeah, great. So let's see here. I did the 24-hour release thing, and what that ended up doing is a bulk of them were released like Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3,000 or so, 3,200.
Mm-hmm.
I think that had the effect of driving this number down, the opened, to, it's currently only at 8.78%.
You think it drove it down?
Well, I mean, it was fairly high up here at this point. And
you think because it the idea of a 24-hour release is to try and increase the number of opens, but you think because it happened to be a Saturday morning, it actually maybe went down?
Yeah, so I wonder if it'll actually go up here in the next day or so.
Mm.
Because I don't know if people maybe don't check in.
Waking up on Monday and seeing their mail for over the weekend. Yeah, sure, we'll see.
Yeah. So 8 is low compared to what we've had. We got 31 clicks so far, 19 unsubscribes.
No complaints.
Just a quick pass at the. Huh?
I said no complaints. Yay!
No complaints. Yeah, no complaints. And those bounces, by the way, were Yahoo, and so I resent them. So that's not exactly accurate now. It's more like 10 or so.
Okay.
And I'll check on those later and get them out of there if they're no good. Just a quick pass at the links. The highest link is the one that says "Get started now coding on real projects" at the very top. Laura's is the second highest. Her blog. The pricing, that one is become a premium member at the very top is also pretty high. Your blog, RSpec, Y, the prototype.
Yeah.
Y Agile Ventures got 2 clicks, and then on and on.
Do these generally follow like the order in the email? Suggesting that.
I don't think so. I don't. I did put the.
Laura's was wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the third one, right after the initiative to get people to click on to like us, and that was at the very top. That only got 1 click so far.
Have we had anybody like us on Twitter or Facebook?
I have not checked.
I have not been on. Sorry, I have not been on Facebook. To companies' pages. I'll quickly log on now. While we're chatting.
Perhaps someone did and did not click on the link. It's possible, but only 1 click for the Facebook so far. But yeah, like I said, the numbers are low, and just to compare, like in the past, these 2 right here are March. They were released in 2 chunks. They were at 25%, 27%, so about 26% open rate. April was at 21%. May was at 22%. And so right now we're at 8.8.
Right.
With this one.
Okay, well, I guess as you say, we'll see how that evolves over the course of the day.
Well, there seems to be some growth this week, which being Monday. There's one like. But we're on 144 now. I'm not sure where we were last week, though. I'll have to check.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe check.
We'll see if somebody presumably will reach out to us and say if they were expecting a freebie.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I embedded a link so they could just quickly email us.
Okay.
Cool. If they do it, yeah.
Great.
So that's all I have really, unless anyone has questions.
Yeah. We've just from the 2nd of July. You've only had one like.
2nd of July. Okay.
Well, which was on the 6th of July. We got that like.
So that was before.
So nothing yet. Okay. Well, we will wait and see.
Okay. So no questions?
No, great work getting that out. I guess it would also be great to, with talking the next month, Marufa taking the lead on releasing the email. So I think, we may want to, either you pair on it or it may be good to have a document of some kind, listing all of the gotchas and things on getting the newsletter out.
Yeah, I just think it's really, if you can send a letter out on a Tuesday and not a Friday, you'll probably get more action happening.
Mm-hmm.
Mondays people have just come off the weekend and we're getting ready for the week. So we find that normally with our newsletters, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are good days to send.
Good to know.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we should plan on that for the next one.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. So I mean,
okay.
And like I'm sure. I know you're learning lots and lots of things about the Elastic Mail and so on, Federico. But I guess it's just grab a Google Doc if necessary to start putting stuff in, or a wiki in wherever. Let me know if you need help getting that to happen.
Yeah. Could you do it?
Sure. Well, do it. Oh, I can. No, I can easily make. I'm a specialist at making.
Could I just make you do it?
Google Docs that are editable by other people, which Google Docs has made it rather difficult. So doc the newsletter process. Well, I think this is the thing I've kind of realized is actually there's so many people who find typing difficult and would much rather just sort of talk. And I guess my role as a person who enjoys typing is to ask them questions and type out what they say. So anyway, we'll work towards that. On other things on the newsletter, we did already talk about items for the next newsletter in the previous meeting. I think we've got a load of different things there to mention. I also had an idea that I wondered if we should do an article on Craft Academy and maybe even on Thomas in particular, if he was interested. I was kind of thinking it would be, I don't know, well, I don't know, maybe Thomas doesn't want to be too strongly associated with Azure Ventures at the moment, but I was thinking about, all of the efforts that he put in before, and it would be nice to, maybe, anyway, nice to kind of say, shout out to our, co-founder who, put in all this effort. I guess it's maybe better to start with doing a shout out to Craft Academy. I don't know.
It sounds like a good idea. I don't know, like you said, how receptive he is to it.
Yeah, maybe it's simpler to say what was I doing? I was updating the questions about the for the surveying all the members, and last year there was the idea that if you pre-member you'd get discount to Craft Academy, which I don't know if we have anymore, but anyway, just a food for thought there. You also had a question about HubSpot, Federico?
Right. So I'm in the process of exporting all the contacts from Elastic Email, importing them into HubSpot.
Oh, yeah.
Now they do have a field where they ask, categorize them the stage they're in the life cycle stage, the funnel.
Oh yeah.
And so I guess it goes right here in order from subscriber, getting qualified lead, sales qualified lead, opportunity, customer,
right,
evangelist. You know, I'm not sure how to classify. Should they be subscriber? Should they be customer?
Well, I mean, you know, do we have to use those terms, or can we use our own ones?
Yeah, I guess we could use other. They do have this thing that they say.
Well, what I'm saying, rather than, but I mean, like, is the like this is a set of categories, right? And then there's just other is a general hold all category. I don't mean can we just mark everything as other. I'm saying, do we have to use these categories, or can we use a set of categories that we want? So, like, one is, you know, free member, premium mob, premium face-to-face, pure premium. Can we define all of those, or that's not an option?
So I'm not sure about that. I presume that you could click on other and then define it, but perhaps not.
Can you hear me?
I'm not to that point yet.
Can you hear you, Lara? Go on.
Oh, just a sec. So I just wanted to say that you can choose your own category at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sorry, I was talking away, nobody could hear me. I just wanted to go back to Craft Academy quickly.
Oh, go on.
I just wanted to ask if he has, in the past couple of months, sent any new people across.
I
haven't seen anyone
know that we've
sign
had any
up.
new Craft Academy people. There was maybe one. There was one Makers Academy person. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think Thomas is pushing pushing Agile Ventures.
No. I don't think so. Yeah, and I wouldn't particularly be expecting him to. We certainly have had in the last 4 months. There's been like. I think it's been mentioned, like Matt, I don't know how many months ago it was, Matt gave a presentation to the outgoing, you know, the graduating class. And we subsequently had 1 or 2 people around in Slack, but nobody particularly got involved.
Okay. But yeah, and just going back to HubSpot, what you can do is you can create your pipeline, and then in your pipeline you can have any category that you want running across.
Okay.
So maybe we need to do another demo recording session.
Sure.
So, and there's go back to the Craft Academy thing. There's no like money being limited anymore, or what?
No.
But is there still? Wasn't Raul still doing it with his branch, or is he not doing that?
Yeah, I think in principle, I think he only has 1 student in his group. I don't think his student has graduated yet. I think they just give the students a big 2-week holiday.
No, he has. He graduated.
Oh, he has? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
he graduated 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was speaking to Raul over the weekend, but he didn't particularly reach out.
How does it work? Like, are you supposed to automatically get the money, or is it like you have to?
Well, no. I mean, in the past, you know, I've submitted an invoice to Craft Academy, but of like 4 or 5 months ago, the sort of deal that we had, I guess, ended because Thomas was questioning whether there was any value for Craft Academy students to come and get involved in Agile Ventures. And there was a big discussion about that in the Craft Academy, what's it called? I forgot what it's called, Basecamp, which I was invited to look at, and I prepared a big response for and input on, but then the discussion was archived before I had a chance to contribute. But actually, when I reviewed the conversation, I mean, it sort of had come to a conclusion, which was, I think, might have been yourself, Lara, recommending that, you know, the Agile Ventures was introduced to the students, you know, more actively. Matt then went and gave that presentation, but I think I assume the feeling is that they feel, or particularly Thomas feels, that Craft Academy students need to, I don't know, do something. Yeah, that it's not that going and being involved in Agile Ventures is not necessarily taking them in precisely the right direction, if you know what I mean. Like, I think that they maybe want to get them into paying coded work as soon as possible, or working within, there's kind of like now Craft Academy has its own sort of paid incubator thing?
No, they don't.
Oh,
Well,
I think they wanted to have.
they're all over the place. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I'm not doing any work for them. They asked me to resign last week. I think they're all over the place. They don't know what they want. They're trying too many different strategies. They're not sticking to it, and so I think let's just stick to Agile Ventures value and core. And
all right,
yeah.
Oh, that sounds. That's sorry to hear that about Craft Academy. Okay. Right. Well, coming back to HubSpot then, I guess the thing I would just say there, maybe if you go back to the previous page, Federico, is I think we can, like if we were, maybe we can create our own things. I mean, like Premium Mob, Premium Face-to-Face, Premium Plus, they all go under customer. Subscriber, is someone who's subscribed to the newsletter, then free member would. So I think we could be using those categories and sort of pop people into those. But yeah, if we can actually define them, I think in our terminology, as Lara is suggesting, that's going to be even more valuable. I'm very happy to share with you, Federico, the spreadsheet I've shared with Marufa and Michael, which is a list of all of the people in the different premium levels and the premium levels that they're in and so on. And then that would be something you could use to make sure that the people are going into the right categories. But,
okay. Yeah. The only thing I would mention about that, I mean, we'll talk about it in the session, but is that you can't go backwards, supposedly. Like once they're through the funnel at some point, you can't really revert them back for some reason. So we might have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, then that's okay. I mean, I think somebody has become a customer, you can then, have them. Yeah, and it may be that the granularity of Premium Mob and Face-to-Face is all, and we just mob it. But the funnel as customer, there's the person who is like, if somebody cancels and drops out, then that's like, previous customer, and that's a further thing up in the funnel. I mean, then there's they can't go back into a thing. So yeah, anyway, we'll see.
Okay, so Lara, whenever you have time, if you're still there, Lara.
I think she is. Yeah, she's just muted.
Yeah, I'm here still. So yeah, anytime. Just my week's pretty open at the moment. So.
Okay, we'll chat about it.
Put out a date. Yeah.
Great stuff. Okay.
Thanks, Lara.
So Lara, on to the experiment, the AdWords experiment, which was running for a week, and we decided was probably time to shut down, didn't we?
Yeah, I feel, and I think I mentioned it last week, is that you're moving away from the Agile Ventures domain. So it takes at least about 10 seconds to load. And then it takes you to a totally different domain. So it doesn't look professional.
I concur.
And some people aren't on a fast internet. I mean, especially the people from India. And to wait for it to switch over, you might be losing them at that point as well.
Yes.
But also, I think the page is great, and I understand that it explains the journey, but that's all it does. It doesn't give credibility to Agile Ventures. I can't see, unless I join in through Slack, can I see that there are other members. So I still think, once you've maybe done the next design sprint or the next two, and you've got more content or collateral, I think that then it would be better to test, and that we can have it on a proper domain.
Yeah. Well, I'll say I think it is on a proper domain, that the domain itself doesn't take any longer to load than the split is between these two, and these are both subdomains within Agile Ventures. So both of those take exactly the same time to load. I think the difficulty that we have is, and I think you're absolutely right, is that we've got this InVision thing, and it basically that loading time, this page is going to take time to load. But when you land on it, you get the sense of, oh, right, here's a whole website. And as you say, you can browse around and see that there are the members and projects, whereas this one is sort of landing you in this infographic. which you may or may not go through. And yeah, as you say, I think it doesn't, I think it would be a complete, that's interesting. What we certainly saw, by the way, for others who weren't looking at the AdWords, is basically over the course of the week, we had 18 signups from people who were directed to this page versus 0 signups from people who were directed to this page.
So
go on, Michael.
We could put like that whole infographic in the website itself.
Yeah, I think we could.
And then map like parts of it to be clickable, and then they would pop something up.
Yeah, I think you and I share the same hypothesis, and I think also I think what Lara's saying is a very likely the case as to why people didn't kind of go through on it. What would be a more interesting experiment would be to run, to have a separate page, which we don't have why, but if I put, like, I just created the privacy page, so we should have privacy. But if we had a separate page that still had the banners around, but then had, the infographic or something approximating it, and it was in the same domain, and, you had at the bottom, we had sort of like the header and footer, that would probably be a more interesting experiment to run. Would we agree?
Potentially,
I think,
Go on,
Federico. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we shouldn't really touch the homepage yet.
Oh no, right.
But maybe try another experiment where it has, the headers and the footers. And I would just, now that we've gotten this data and now that we've stopped the initial prototype demo or stat demo, what am I trying to say? Gathered stats on it.
Yeah.
I would just push for actually listening to what the testers interviews, all their suggestions, and doing all those modifications along with the headers and the footers, and then maybe doing a campaign on that.
Sure.
Yeah. Campaign on that. That's just my suggestion. We don't have to.
No, that's good suggestion. Yeah.
The only complication with it is getting the pop-up functionality if we want to replicate that.
And I would suggest sort of scrapping what we currently have and just taking the good parts out of it, listening to the demo, the testers' interviews, all their suggestions, and doing sort of a more formal, coded version.
Yeah. Well, and I think what it is that we, the clear way forward is, if we're thinking about making changes to the homepage, what's fantastic is now that we've got this framework where we can A/B test different homepages. So if we wanted to make any change to this homepage, or continue to experiment with variations on this infographic, then sensibly what we do is we create, an endpoint, and then big thanks to Lara for setting it all up. I presume, Lara, if we had another endpoint, which was just Agile Ventures /Y, for example, it would be trivial to run another experiment of the same sort, but just pointing to this link instead of y.agileventures.org, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Well, you can still keep the y.agileventures.org. Just
we could even do that and redirect to that into a particular. I'm just yeah. So
either way, so it doesn't matter. Whatever you create is fine.
Yeah. So I think we don't necessarily need to rush into it, but yeah, I mean, anybody who wants to take the initiative to, it doesn't, it's not that there's one solution. I mean, we can keep profiling, like we've got this sort of continuum between the full infographic and very minor variations to the existing homepage, and so we can trial different things at points along that continuum, and move on from there. Yeah. So okay. So we've got an action. I mean, I'm definitely going to be involved in taking the lead on that. But, if other people want to just mock up the new homepages for tests. Yes. I mean, it also highlights the fact that maybe the contents of the homepage is less important than, the people navigating around the rest of the site. But, okay. So I guess we're kind of getting out of time. I guess I just want to bring us back to, or these things that we skipped over. So one is that Chatlio continues to be available in the site, and we did have like 3 or 4 people over the weekend sort of talking to us. And big thanks to I think Federico, you were following up to some of those people. I followed up to some. I was chatting to
no responses yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting here again. Like, the people will say things. Yeah, there's no responses to the email. I wonder if this will be like we have, on the people email us to info@agileventure.org. They ask a question, we respond, and then we never hear from them again. I don't know. It's anyway. Certainly, like, we've got another like 3 weeks of our trial profit for this Chatlio thing. Have you seen the Chatlio thing, Lara?
No, I haven't.
So you can see it here.
Oh,
in the
cool.
screen
Yeah.
share. And we basically have it so that, in principle, anybody can just start chatting and asking about the site. And we have the same in the static site as well. And there's a chat room so it's backed by Slack. And so here, if you're in Chatlio live chat, we see questions coming in from people being on particular pages of, there. And then it creates a channel where you can chat to them in Slack, but they're there on the website, and you can just sort of discuss with them. So it's an interesting, another way of sort of trying to connect with our.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Understand what's going on there. So we've got a free trial for a month, so we'll keep using that. I guess that's a question of how much effort we want to put in. Yeah. So to finish up, then, gosh, and we really don't have much time left, is on the questions of value. So I, in my ongoing fashion, reach out to individual premium members. I've got a particular one now with a premium member, which is different from in the past. I've had this discussion with people about who people are not yet premium members, who say, why should I pay to contribute to open source? And I think, if I need to outline that argument again, but it's, I'm now having the discussion with somebody they're already, they're paying for some level of support, but they're asking about upgrade. What would be the point of, or it doesn't make sense. Like, if I'm contributing my time, why should I be paying to do that? And I'm trying to construct a response, and then they're saying, but tell me the alternative point of view. So I'm trying to construct a response to say, well, you're not paying to contribute. Anybody can contribute. What you're paying to do is to get time from a mentor to work with you. And presumably, if you value that time from that mentor and that support, then that makes sense. So I guess I'm also aware it's quite an emotive issue to me. And I've written this thing, and maybe I can share with you guys the response, and you can give me feedback on that. I guess it makes me wonder about making the marketing channel private, but there we go. So I don't know if anybody has any immediate thoughts on that.
I just think that paying for an upgrade is paying for a resource for a teacher to mentor you to learn a new skill.
Right.
Your time is towards making a project to be creative, to show, to build your portfolio. That's you giving your time in. But you're paying for the fact that you lack certain skills to build the creativeness that you can have. And that's why you're paid. That's the whole point of learning and having a teacher. So that source that you don't have access to, you're gaining access to. It's not just the time, because you can go and try and build something yourself, but you're paying someone so that you can gain the extra skills that you may not have thought of, or ways to make it simpler for you.
Indeed.
That's another way of learning.
And that there are companies like Block that's their entire business model. What's interesting in the world of computer programmers, where even people who are relatively new to the job are paid very highly. I think that some people think like, well, I'm being paid really highly for this. My skills are in such value. Why should I pay any extra? But it relates to a general communication issue. We are just going to draw some attention to, we had some responses already to the survey. And where one person mentioning here, there are many levels of membership at AgileVentures without clear difference between them. Nothing so attractive to make one want to become a premium member unless they have the money and just want to spend it. difference between the premium membership is also so small. So I mean, I guess they're kind of saying, this person's saying here that the premium membership by itself is not that attractive. Like there's not, an attractive thing in it. That's I mean, one point of view.
That's one of the.
Sorry, Marifa, I think we lost you there. But so what's I think it's interesting there is that the person is saying that they don't see any difference between the premium, like the difference in premium and premium mob, and that kind of seems so strange to me that you would say like having an automated thing, which is really largely what versus like premium mob and premium face-to-face give you this like, but I guess I've got like from this person's point of view, they're either not understanding that the different levels give them far more person time, or they're just saying they don't think that person time is particularly valuable.
I have to go, but can I just quickly say, from the survey, it looked at the benefits, but it didn't look at what they would think negative. So this kind of, the whole point of the interviews, if I can get people to do it, is to explain to them the benefits. Like you were saying in one of our, the pricing channel, it looked at the benefits, but it didn't say what we can do for them, but not how we...
Right.
Yeah, it's that same argument again. It's the same information, but it's in different forms. So
absolutely, we want to get better at communicating the benefit. But also, no, I mean, this would be fantastic if this is the interesting thing with this person who I think maybe left their email address or maybe they didn't, but whether you follow up by email or in person or what have you, it would be really interesting to understand whether it's that they feel that they don't understand the difference in premium and premium mob, like they're just, or if they do understand the difference in premium and premium mob and they know that there's mob sessions, but they just think that having a mentor or arranging a mob session for you is just not very valuable. And then we ask the question of like, what actually would be valuable? No, go on.
Yeah. Just sorry, I really do need to go back. Just want to say if I get a chance to do interviews, I can try and figure out what we can do to improve our service to make them want to do it. And the other thing was someone slacked me saying that they wasn't sure if they given feedback or not, and I just said the surveys are anonymous, so I can't check for them to do another one. So I wouldn't know if that person, for example, the one you're showing me, how to track them because it's anonymous. But if they do one-to-one, it will come to light.
Right, but it's not entirely anonymous in that they can optionally leave their email address. So some of them are not anonymous.
Okay.
So if they're anyway.
So sorry, guys.
That's right. You got to go. We're out of time. That's good. Bye. We'll speak to you again soon, Marifa. Thanks so much. So I mean, I think this is, this is fantastically valuable feedback to get, as is the one that I'm having this one-to-one conversation with somebody about potentially upgrading. I don't know. Anyway, so I kind of, I'd love to share. I guess maybe like let me know if you're interested in seeing my, response to this person about upgrading, and I'll rather than sharing it in the open public marketing channel, I'll share it individually with people who are interested. I guess it's.
So I have a.
Go on, Federico.
No, finish your thought. So.
I was going to say that also makes me wonder about should we make the marketing channel private so that we can have more specific discussions about individual users and premiums. But yeah, I'm kind of finished now. Go on, Federico. What are you going to say?
I was just going to make two thoughts on that. Basically, yes, I'm interested in reviewing that. If you could share that, but also, could we just have it both ways? Could we have marketing private?
We could have a separate marketing private channel. We could, yeah, maybe. But there we go. I think that's then everything in the agenda. Sorry that ran over a little bit today, guys. Does anybody else have any other critical things that need sorting out?
Not from my side, and I have to run.
Yeah, thanks so much, Laura. Thanks so much for running that experiment. Really appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Federico, do you just want to remind me? I was looking for where I would see the information about which email you wanted changing. I knew that you don't want the Outlook one. I now can't find which is the one that you want. Do you want to just tell me that?
Yeah,
quickly?
EsparzaFed@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I sent the email. I guess it was Saturday. Yeah.
I was
I don't know.
I was searching for Federico in my inbox and I couldn't see it, but